Welcome to the, I don't know if you can see the screen, but welcome to the IPC Student Member Scholarship. It's a webinar, it's going to be very informative. I'm Charlene, the Senior Director of the Education Foundation. I'm joined by Aaron Burney. Aaron, you can say hi. You all are familiar with Aaron and communicate with him as our Education Program Manager. So we're excited to bring some information to you, and hopefully you can have conversations with some of the amazing past scholarship winners. So on that note, I wish to introduce you to each one of them, and I'll appreciate if they can maybe, hey Wally, now I can see you. Wally's there. I will unmute you, and then if we can maybe start with Wally and then move on the way in terms of the order of the slides, just to introduce yourself. Where do you study, the major, what you're pursuing, just like in short, if you're interning currently, where are you interning, etc. So I'm going to unmute Wally, and you can start.
Oh, they can hear me.
Unmute. Unmute. Aaron, can you, there we go. Thanks.
All right. So hi everyone, my name is Wally. I'm from Auburn University. I'm actually a PhD student in Industrial and System Engineering. My field of studies, my specialty is in reliability of electronic interconnections. Actually, I'm working on doing some micro indentations in order to assess different materials and how the mechanical behaviors in harsh environments, actually in automotive manufacturing and aerospace. Prior to apply to this scholarship, I was in master degree in the same field actually, and I was doing a master thesis in reliability of systems as well. So Auburn, if you don't know where is it, Auburn is in the south, next to Georgia, Atlanta. We are around 1 hour, 30 minutes away from Atlanta. And we are located in Alabama State. So.
Thank you, Wally, appreciate it. Next in line.
Hey guys, my name is Ravi. I'm a master's student in mechanical engineering from University of Maryland. I also do a minor in electronic packaging, and yeah, for now, during the summer, I'm interning for Corvo. And yeah, thank you, Ms. Charlene, for having me here.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Mm-hmm. Anna.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Brown. There is an echo. I don't know if anyone else can hear it. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I am at Michigan Technological University as a electrical engineer with a minor in enterprise. I was actually the founder of the IPC chapter at Michigan Tech, and I served as the president for a year and a half. I'm currently pursuing power under EE and going specifically for renewables. I'm currently working at Black & Veatch this summer as an intern, designing utility scale solar arrays. So yeah.
Fantastic, thanks Anna. And then Fernando.
Hey, hello everyone. Well, my name is Fernando Galvez. My major is Electronic System Engineering Technology. The university that I finished was Cal Poly Pomona. So, and what I'm pursuing right now in this time is I'm trying to create a business in robotics. So that's why I wanted to go for it. But at the same time, I'm looking for jobs, for any job opportunity right now. So that's the way that I could learn some experience, and at the same time I could work on my dream.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. There you have it. Past winners, scholarship winners, leaders at our chapter, officers. We appreciate your time, and thank you for stepping up to taking that role. What I'm going to do now is move on so that we can just talk about, for everyone that's interested in joining, and thank you so much for joining this webinar, $1,000 is up for grab per chapter. But we realized last year we had a couple of students at the same chapter that really submitted excellent work, and therefore a couple at the same chapter received 1,000. So we can have the ability to award more than one, and just depending on the quality of standards that we receive. So if you are an IPC student member and here joining, you are eligible to apply and you stand a chance to win that $1,000. How do you apply? It's very easy. It's an online process, and I will take you through the steps in a while. What do you need to do? Well, you have to apply. Firstly, meet the eligibility requirements, and obviously you already tick a couple of those boxes, but we do have some tasks and opportunities for you to make sure that your application is of a high standard, and you can actually prepare some of the supporting documentation in advance. This year, the deadline for the scholarship is actually September 30th. So make sure that when you do and ask your references and reach out for those recommendation letters, that you don't necessarily leave it till the last week before the deadline date. That resulted that a couple of students last year could not complete the process. So just a heads up on that. In terms of eligibility requirements, being a member and being enrolled in an IPC student chapter and pursuing a degree or a qualification towards an electronics manufacturing industry career path, you tick those boxes. You have to complete 2 or more of those online educational courses that Erin is communicating with you all. That's behind the library. It's the 9 courses that's part of the member benefits package. So you just need to complete 2 or more of those courses. Please save those certificate of completion because they will be added to your application process. You have to attend 2 or more events, IPC related. It can be a student event, it can be a webinar, it can be a specific event like an Apex Expo. I know a couple of our past scholarship winners had the opportunity, like Ravi and Fernando, that came out to San Diego earlier this year and received their chapter checks in person. Funds, when you win the $1,000, we're not going to necessarily ask you what did you spend it on, but we trust that this money will go towards your educational purposes. Proof of enrollment as a student is important, and we will see that when we get your academic record. Your application is open for 1 calendar year, so you cannot apply twice in the same year, but we only have 1 application per year, and then submission, it should be in English. In terms of supporting documents, what you can prepare in advance is make sure that you have those certificates that I mentioned for those educational courses. Identify 2 references, and we can ask the panelists later who and how did they choose those recommendations individuals to provide them with those letters. It's an online process and it's all navigated through the portal. You have to request or get an electronic college transcript for at least 2 years. If you're a freshman, 1 year is perfectly suitable, because we just want to see your GPA, so confirm it when you do your application. A personal statement, you can start writing your reasons why you are applying, why you would be a valuable candidate to receive the scholarship money, what your goals and careers are industry related. Obviously, a resume is important because it shows your professional thinking, and any additional information at hand. You can upload any pictures, videos of completed projects, tasks, and even if you studied previously at another university and have other qualifications like certificates or degrees, you can add that. Anything that can additionally support your application. So basically all of the information is online on the IPCEF.org website. I'm going to walk you through step by step in terms of how to apply. Please note that all the information that I just shared is listed on the IPC website under Scholarship Awards and the Student Member Scholarship page. Here you can literally see exactly what I bulleted for you in the past slides. If you have any questions and are unsure, please feel free to reach out to scholarships@ipc.org. The deadline again, September 30th. So now you're wondering, I want to apply. Firstly, as an IPC member, you have to log into your member profile. Once you've done that, you access the back end, the library. Member scholarships are listed on the top side. You can scroll down and click here to apply. Once you've done that, it will take you to SurveyMonkey Apply, which is the platform we use. You have to create a username and password for the first time. It's just the first time that you have the opportunity to create it. And obviously, everybody loves it. You can save your password. Once you've done that, you will be an applicant. I've kind of rigged the system a little bit to make sure it's a little bit faster for the session, but I'm just going to continue with my application, which kind of shows you that you will have the ability to save and go back if you haven't completed it. So I have completed some of these steps, and I'm just going to move a little bit to the first page, but it's really simple and easy. Once you've accessed it, it will say start. You complete basic information that everybody knows about themselves and select the IPC Student Member Scholarship. You just follow the navigation at the bottom in green indicators and then select the school. There's a drop-down menu with all of the chapters currently listed, whichever one applies to you. Unfortunately, I didn't study here, but my university is not listed here. Then you will definitely say, yes, I have completed 2 of those online courses in the system. Yes, I have attended 2 of the courses or online events or webinars, or whatever the case might be. Please showcase which are the events that you attended so that we can just get a better feel. Your year of study, what you are studying or pursuing, your GPA, are you in a leadership role, yes or no? Do you consider electronics manufacturing as a career path upon graduation, yes or no? Then we click next, and guess what? You have basically completed 75% of the application process. So therefore, a lot of the work is happening prior. You can then mark this as complete and save your form. Here you actually have an ability to see what you've completed, and you can always go back and edit. In terms of inviting a recommender, what you will need is go inside the system, request, put in their first and last name, email address, and you can write them a personal email. Dear Professor, I'm applying for the IPC Scholarship Award. Would appreciate if you can recommend me for this fantastic opportunity. Kind regards, your name, and send the request. That will go directly to that individual's inbox, and they will get instructions to complete it. Once you have the 2 recommendations received, you will be able to mark it as complete. You will only be able to submit your application once all of these steps are completed. So if you are running out of time and you do not have 2 recommendations by the deadline date, unfortunately, you do not have a completed application. So make sure you follow the step ahead of time, identify so that you can complete the step. It's specifically listed in the second one because this can be the most time consuming. It's out of your control. And be, respectful of other people's time. In terms of your motivational letter, this is something that you can draft up ahead of time. You can attach your file, and we accept basically any format. Once you've uploaded the file, you mark as complete. In terms of academic transcript, attach, mark as complete. The 2 certificates, attach, mark as complete. Resume, attach, mark as complete. Any additional information, and you can see it's optional. You will not be penalized if you do not have these. Some scholarship winners did not upload these. It's all about the required information. But you might be able to win a couple of judges over with some exciting new projects and videos just to showcase your urge and love and passion towards the industry. Once all of these sections on the left-hand panel has a tick box in green, you will then be able to submit. You can also review or go back in terms of making edits. And that is as easy as that. Any of these will be completed and you can submit. So you have the ability before you submit to preview, and this will allow you actually to read, double check, make sure you don't have any errors, spelling mistakes. You can have one of your fellow students just, this is great, this is awesome. You can even download it if you want to save it for future reference. And that is literally the application process. Really not that difficult. And I do hope that that helped and showed some of you how easy it is. Now, we have some questions, and I want to open it up more to our panelists. Anyone, I think we can unmute, we can ask questions to the panelists just to get their feedback, their journey. It's an open forum, and this is why we want a webinar, to learn from one another.
So if you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat, and if you'd like to speak, we can also unmute you if you'd like.
And Aaron, if you can handle this and help me out, that will be awesome.
Happy to do so.
Super.
Any questions at the moment? If not, we'll open it up to some panelists to answer these. Okay, well, let's just start with one of these. To any of the panelists who felt that they gained a lot, Wally, sounds like you have a response. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have some answers to this question. So, so let's go to the question 3. What did you use the money for? Like, for me, I was I used the money to pay for training. So it was a PCB design training, and also I used it to travel to IPEX. So I did use some money for that too. So it was a really a good push for me to start my PhD with already having like a training on PCB design, which is part of my work. But as I'm studying reliability, like the end of the product, I was really curious to study the beginning, how we produce the product, how we manufacture it, and then going all through the manufacturing process till like studying the reliability at the end. So it was really interesting for me to pay for that training, and it was good to have it.
Fantastic. So you made use of the money to educate yourself, to upskill yourself. Do you feel that, and anyone else of the panelists, do you feel that the scholarship money actually enhanced your professional profile? Do you think it's something that add like value to your resume?
Yeah, in my case, I think for me, it was like recognition, right? So it's something like when I was able to win this scholarship, it gave me like something that I could be to do something possible, that everything is possible. So that's why even the money helped me, of course. For example, I did working on my scholarship or building my skill that you said. So, but at the same time, it helped me a lot to recognize myself. That could do anything.
That's so true. Just like that extra, like you're in the right direction, keep on going. Congrats, like a tap on your back. Hard work pays off. That's awesome. And that's what we want to accomplish. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I could add to that. Is there still an echo? I'm just curious if anyone else is hearing it.
It's not bad.
That's so strange. Okay, so I would say winning the actual scholarship didn't necessarily add value directly onto my resume, but it did add value when I was talking to recruiters about my involvement with IPC. You know, it was a really good way for me to actually say that all the work that I put into Michigan Tech's chapter was actually worth it. You know, it was quantifiable. It was awarded. You know, only 50 people have received the actual scholarship. You know, like I was a member of a small group of people who were actually recognized. So for me, I think that it definitely added value.
Fantastic. And I've had 2 questions come in on the chat. One was, can advisors give recommendations to applicants? And that's just a resounding yes. We highly encourage that. If I remember right, one of the recommenders has to be a professor or faculty. Not all, I think, actually I take that back. Just about all of our advisors for all of our chapters are. So that's a perfect person. And we do have a fair amount of advisors on the call. So if any of you have other specific questions related to recommendations or really anything in that regard, happy to answer those. And I have a question from the crowd specifically from Paige, to our panelists here. What do each of you believe was the strongest portion of your application? Then I'll leave that to whoever would like to respond.
Okay, so I would like to add to that. So I think for me, the strongest point was having a good statement or essay. So I thought of the things which I was doing at that point of time. I wasn't really clear about what I was going to do. But then once I got this scholarship, and then I was also recognized among my peers. And from then, I started applying for internships in this area. So I would say it's like it was an opportunity, and then I got this opportunity, and from then my career took off. So I've been constantly in touch with Ms. Charlene. So I was telling her how I have got this internship, how this scholarship was really useful in building my profile. And yeah, I would say that, as well as the letter of recommendation from your professors. And yes, advisors are the really best person who can recommend you for this, because they have been watching you. They know what potential you have in you. So I think an advisor or a person whom you have worked with previously are the right persons to guide you on this.
Great response, thank you.
Who of the panelists and past scholarship winners added those optional videos or pictures? Just who did that?
I did it. I put a project. Well, I think like the question was like, what was the strongest point? In my case, for example, it was the project. So I recorded mostly all the projects that I done it. I took pictures, I recorded pictures. So that's the way so at the end, it could build my career path. So that's the way, for example, right now, I have a chance to building with all the pictures that I have it and all the videos and projects that I done it, I can put in my profile, in my portfolio. Yes. So career portfolio. So that's the way that, for example, employers can able to know my job, my work. So at the same time in the scholarship, I put all these projects. So that's the way they be able to recognize and know what I done it and what is my passion about. It could push you or point you a little bit more.
Absolutely.
To recognize yourself.
Absolutely. And it's very true. I just want to, support what the panelists say. Your personal like what you write, your personal statement, that is the first thing that any judge reads, right? And so you need to be very articulate and clear as to your goals, your dreams, your aspirations within the industry. If you can support that with credible references and projects that you've been doing, your proactiveness, you will definitely stand out. And then obviously those recommenders will have to support your standpoint. So if there's a disconnect, your application will fall through the cracks. But if your recommenders, people that know you, that know your aspirations, what are you striving for, how hard you're working, if they can put that in words, it literally only needs to be 5 sentences. It doesn't necessarily need to be a long paragraph. The right words, succinct, that truly resembles you as a person, that's the power in the message. Wally. I can hear you want to say.
So for the recommendation, I would say also you can, for a lot of students who are graduate, they usually work in the research groups where there is always a senior guy who had like 2 years or 3 years experience in doing research. So it will be potentially a good guy to ask a recommendation. Is like as a student or PhD candidate, and you had like some potential that you work with him for a short time period, it's going to be also a good way to get a recommendation from this guy. So also for me, like the IPC, I want to come back to what the scholarship adds to your path as a student. I've been appearing all like in the social media, like in the magazines, the engineering School of Engineering magazine. I get also in the website, like the Facebook and the Instagram of the Industrial and System Engineering department, and also the School of Engineering. So it was good to have it, and then to put to create like in the LinkedIn, you know, there is a part where you can put like recognition awards. So it's really good to have this kind of awards in your LinkedIn account. So I know that most of the recruiters, they're gonna go and see, oh, is there any visibility on social media or like on Google? Just like when they type Wally, they're gonna see, okay, it's in IPCEF website. So you will have more visibility for recruitment. So it's really important for me.
Absolutely. And we have received such a positive response from everyone of you and other winners that participated in providing those interviews and asking those questions about your career aspirations. And this is how we as IPC Education Foundation can support your journey so that you can be seen by our industry, because, you know, IPC, we represent the industry, and if they can see that our scholarship winners are participating in internships and they have not just won it, but they're involved and they want to share their story with others to be inspiring other young engineers. That is the goal, and that is the community that we would like to create. So each one of you form part of that. And as you know, Paige Feet, who is the president of the Michigan Take University chapter, was recently appointed as the student board representative liaison officer. And so that is another opportunity for students that's involved in an IPC chapter to you know, develop and grow. And so we are thankful for her being part of this webinar. She already is proactive and applied, and that also proves like the character of every one of you. You are involved, you want to grow, and that says a lot. So I don't know if we have any other questions. We are about full time for the webinar. If there's anyone who would like to learn more about the past scholarship winner stories, please go onto the blog on the IPCEF website, read about the wonderful things that everyone is doing. Erin, do we have any more questions? Do we want to push it for another minute, or are we good? It was wonderful to see everyone. Anna and Fernando, Ravi and Wally, thank you so much. We wish you and everyone that joined the call a fantastic evening, and all the best with your future studies and the career ahead. We salute you.
All right.
Thank you.
And just everyone, be on the lookout for more of these coming up. And in the future, we'll actually be featuring IPC member companies as well. So we had one quick question at the very end about that. So look for those for both from IPC staff, but also from IPC members telling their stories or what they do in their daily work, and on from there. So we thank you for attending the first one of these, and we look forward to more.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.